Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are again. We're continuing on with our discussion about Hanukkah, all right? One of our winter holidays that comes during or near December, all right? So let's go ahead and figure out what day it is today. So what day was it the last time we had circle time? Yeah, Monday. And then Tuesday was a 3's class day. So today is Wednesday. And let me reach over there and move the frog down to Wednesday. Oopsie, it's going to fall off right there. All right, and who remembers our... Oh, wait a minute. We haven't started this month yet. I was thinking about what I had talked about with the 3's class yesterday. So does anyone know what our new month is? November ended on Monday. We have a new month now. Does anyone know what it's called? Yep, we are in December now, and there are lots of holidays in December, and we are going to be talking about 3 of them this month. So the first one, of course, is Hanukkah. All right, so Tuesday was our first day of December, which was yesterday. So let's pull out, so we know it's going to be a number 1, right, for the first day. Let's see what the pictures are. So we have a red stocking with a number 1 on it. We're going to put that right there. Okay, so what comes after 1? What number comes after 1? Yep, 2. And we have a new color. So we have red, and then we have... What color is that? Yep, white. So a number 2 on a white stocking. And there will be one more color to complete our color pattern. All right, so we have 1, 2, red, white. So today is Wednesday, December 2nd. All right, so let's figure out what the weather is today. So you'll need to look out your window at your house to see if it is snowy or cloudy or windy or rainy, or partly cloudy, or sunny, or stormy, or foggy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these away so you figure out what the weather is like at your house. And then we need to figure out what it feels like. What's the temperature outside? So you'll have to kind of step out the door to figure that out. So when you step out, does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? Does it feel warm? Or does it feel cool? All right, so figure out the temperature. All right, so we are continuing on talking about Hanukkah, and of course I have another book about Hanukkah today. This book's a little longer, all right? It talks about a family celebrating Hanukkah and what they do. And I think what we're going to do, and what I usually do with one of the books I usually read that has seemed to have disappeared this year, along with some of my other stuff. I don't know where all my stuff's going this year. I usually read Sammy Spider's First Hanukkah, and we light the menorah for each day of Hanukkah in that book. Well, I think we can do the same thing in the book I'm going to read today, but it's just a little bit longer, and it won't fit in my envelope. I had to hide it behind my envelope because it just was just a little too big. So I'm going to kind of pull it out from behind my mystery envelope here. Here we go. There it is. So this book is called Our 8 Nights of Hanukkah. All right, and what I'm going to try to do as they go through the nights of Hanukkah is light one candle. Remember, I push this button down here. This is an electric menorah, so it's not one you light with a flame, right? And remember, the middle is called the shamash, which is the helper candle, and it lights each of the other candles from left to right. Okay, so here we go. Our 8 nights of Hanukkah. The very first night of Hanukkah, we polished the silver menorah, ours is silver too, that was my great-grandma's. She brought it from Russia maybe 100 years ago. It's the oldest thing in the house, I think. We all say the prayers together as we light the shamash. That's the tallest candle, remember? And touch it to the first night's candle. So we'll go ahead and light the shamash and the first night's candle. I know it's, at least when I'm looking at my screen, it's kind of hard to tell which ones are lit, but the first one is lit and the shamash, just like in the book. Baby Audrey just burbles, but that kind of sounds like Hebrew. Then we sing Hanukkah songs and take turns reading a story that's even older than Great-Grandma's Menorah. It's the 2,000-year-old true story about this small group of Jews, led by Judah Maccabee, who didn't want to worship statues of cows and give up being Jewish. So they fought against this huge, powerful Syrian army, but by a real miracle, the Maccabees won. Nobody in that story gave Hanukkah presents, especially ones with superheroes or batteries. They were just glad to be free to be Jews. And remember, I mentioned that in the email I sent a couple weeks ago, was it? Something like that, a week and a half ago. There's a video, a Sesame Street video that talks about Hanukkah too, so you can learn some more. On the second night, at Grandma and Grandpa's, we light 2 candles with the shamash. Then we take turns grating potatoes so Grandma can fry us all potato pancakes. Potato pancakes are called latkes and they're super yummy. We always eat too many latkes and lots of homemade applesauce too. So you can dip the latkes in applesauce, really good. The latkes are really crispy, kind of like French fry pancakes, because Grandma fries them in oil. So let's light the second night. Here we have the 2 candles lit for the first 2 nights and the shamash. And now I want to go home and make some potato pancakes, some latkes. The oil is supposed to remind us of the lamp that the Maccabees found in the wrecked temple. It only had about 1 day's worth of oil in it, but it burned for 8 days. This was a sign that God was on their side, and it was why Hanukkah lasts for 8 days. Mom says Grandma's latkes last 8 days in her stomach, too. You know what's funny? Our dog comes with us to Grandma's, too, and we don't give him latkes. But the next day, you can smell the latkes in his fur because of the smell being in the house, so it gets on the dog's fur. On the third night, the shamash lights 3 candles, and we search the house for things we want to give away as presents. See, our family has this tradition. Before we get any gifts, we gather all the toys and clothes we don't think we'll use next year. We're not rich, but our closets have plenty of clothes and toys. Some toys we didn't even have time to play with. So we give these as gifts to people who aren't as lucky as we are, because Mom likes to remind us that Jews believe in, oh, you know what? I looked up how to pronounce this, and now I'm trying to remember. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I forgot how do you say it? Tzedekah, I think, is what it was, which means that even little kids have something extra they can share. So let's light the 3rd candle on the menorah. 1, 2, 3 for the 3rd night of Hanukkah, and the shamash. After that, we paint cards and wrapping paper. We decorate them with glitter and snowflakes, but nothing really Jewish or Christian. Who knows what holiday the kids who receive our gifts are going to celebrate? We just write happiness and peace, since that's really all we wish. It's pretty neat they're making their own wrapping paper. I think that's a great idea. On the 4th night, with 5 candles glowing in the window, we wrap our gifts. After we make sure there aren't any loose parts or missing cards or lost men, we erase our smudgy fingerprints and stray crayon marks so everything looks new. Then each gift is wrapped with our homemade paper. This is also the night our temple has its big Hanukkah party. We bundle up and walk there. The best part is seeing all the lights. Menorahs burning in some windows and trees twinkling in others. The lights tell you who's Jewish and who's not, which you don't really know the rest of the year. When I said that to my dad, he said, "Well, Hanukkah's a chance to be proud of your religion." All right, so let's light the fourth candle for the fourth night of Hanukkah and the Shamash. All the kids from a religious school come with their families. We have cookies shaped in the Star of David, and there's cider and coffee, Israeli dancing, and a play about the Maccabees with aluminum foil swords. The preschoolers always dress up as singing dreidels and spin around. I did when I was little, and it made me dizzy. So we'll talk about dreidels in a little bit, but dreidels are basically a spinning top, and you play a game called the Dreidel Game with it. And we'll be talking about that in a little bit. On the fifth night, we have our big family dinner with Grandma and Grandpa and maybe some other relatives. I think all the Jewish holidays are about getting together with your family. Friends from my regular school who don't really know about Hanukkah come too. On that night, we say the candle lighting prayers in Hebrew and English. So let's light the fifth candle for the fifth night of Hanukkah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Shamash. For dessert, Dad gives everyone a net bag with chocolate coins wrapped in gold foil, and then Grandpa says he can beat anyone at a game of dreidel. It's not a very hard game. It's just a spinning top with 4 Hebrew letters. Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, one on each side. The Hebrew letters stand for Nes Gadol Haya Sham. Grandpa translates it for anyone who can't speak Hebrew, and mine isn't so good. It means, a great miracle happened there. 2,000 years ago. Everybody probably spoke Hebrew really well back then. At the end of the game, which is mostly laughing because we keep eating our winnings, because they're chocolate coins, remember? Grandpa gives all us kids Hanukkah gelt, real silver dollars to save for college. The sixth night, after we light the menorah, we drive our gifts to a shelter. The people there know kids who don't even have houses. Last year, we sent our presents to our neighbors' cousins. They'd lost almost everything in a gigantic flood, even their dog, although they found him 1 month later. All right, so let's light the sixth candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the sixth night of Hanukkah, and the Shamash in the middle. Later, we shop for family presents. Mom and Dad take baby Audrey, but we older kids go with Grandma and Grandpa. They make weird suggestions about what to get our parents, like kitchen towels or trivets. We've already hinted a lot about what we'd like, but our parents always surprise us. Grandma and Grandpa never try to buy us clothes. We go to giant toy stores to look for things we really need, and Grandma will say, "Well, I don't know, we'll see." But then Grandpa says he's going to find the restroom and sneaks back to buy just what we wanted. That sounds like a grandpa to me. Each year on the seventh night, we light our menorah at our very best of all friend's house. They celebrate Christmas, but they like Mom's latkes almost as much as I do, so we bring over a giant platter of them. After dinner, they surprise us with Hanukkah presents, and we help them trim their tree with cranberries and tinsel and all the ornaments their 2 cats haven't broken. All right, let's light the seventh candle for the seventh night of Hanukkah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the Shamash. When their tree is finished, the room is lit with only our menorah's flames and the strands of Christmas lights. We tuck the presents we bought them under the tree and eat cookies I've sometimes helped decorate earlier in the day. Did I tell you that our Hanukkah is also about people of different religions living alongside one another? On the last night of Hanukkah, with all 9 candles burning, we open our gifts, one at a time, so everyone can watch and no one gets cheated out of a thank you hug. Our dog gets presents too, even though he isn't Jewish. Half the presents we made ourselves, and the rest we bought with saved up allowance. Plus, there are packages from relatives who live too far away to come over. So let's light the 8th candle for the 8th night of Hanukkah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the shamash. But while we're still sitting on the floor among all the ribbons and boxes, Dad usually says something besides thank you, everybody. He always says something like, aren't we lucky to be able to celebrate our holiday with everyone in our family in this safe place? It's a miracle. Well, now I know he doesn't mean a great miracle, as in the first Hanukkah story, but maybe it's a tiny one. Maybe a lot of tiny miracles add up to a great one if you think about the whole world and all these menorahs glowing in lots and lots of windows and all that light. Oh, look at that. And they had some sadaka. Yeah, okay. All right. So that's a good story. I like that one. It's quite a bit different than Sammy Spider's first Hanukkah, a little more realistic. All right. So remember on Monday, I had a big mistake. I made a mistake. I printed out the menorah that I found was not really a menorah. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I printed out one that wasn't really a menorah. So I said I would find a new one, and I did. And I already sent it to all your moms and dads last week in an email. So you can print it if you want. There's a link to go to a website, and you can print it directly from there. But I'm also sending home a paper copy this Friday. So here's our new one. And I actually like it better than the one I used to use that I couldn't find, because it has these candles up here. So the first thing we do with this one is we kind of cut, and remember we hold our scissors with the thumb up, we kind of cut along the bottom of the candles. And then the shamash is kind of higher up, so we kind of go up a little higher with the shamash and back down. All right. So then we have 2 pieces. We have the menorah and we have the candles. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take the glue and we're going to put some glue all along the top of the menorah. And that is where we're going to glue the candles so that they can actually be on the menorah. All right, I can go over here too. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down, and I'll show you what I did here. All right, so there are the candles, and they are right on top of the menorah now. All right, so we're going to do the same thing that we did with the other one. It's still going to be a torn paper menorah. All right, so we're going to tear the paper just like we were doing before. And we're going to be gluing it down to the parts of the menorah. Okay, so I'm just going to do a few right now. So I'm going to put some glue in one section to start. Don't put too much, because glue stick glue dries out really fast. All right, so you want to just put a little, and then you'll go back and add some more. And you'll stick your torn papers down on the menorah. All right, so see how I did that one section there to that candle there? So you'll do all of them on both sides and the bottom part and this right here. All right, now then if you want, you could just light all the candles on the top, or you can, with your mom and dad, you can look up the days when Hanukkah is celebrated, and I did look it up, but I've forgotten the dates now. And each night of Hanukkah, you can light a new candle on the menorah. So you could do it that way too. All right, so remember the shamash gets lit first because it has to light all the other candles. And then we'll light one each night. So the first night, Oopsie, I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. The first night, the second night, the third night, the fourth night, the fifth night, the sixth night, the seventh night, and the 8th night. Right? 8 nights of Hanukkah for the 8 nights that the oil lamp burned, even though it had only enough oil for 1 night. All right? So there is that torn paper menorah. All right, in your packet, you also got directions on how to play the Dreidel game. And you got a paper dreidel that your mom and dad, or you could even help to, but this has to be cut out kind of very exactly, all right? So if you're really good with scissors, you could totally cut this out, but if you're still practicing, it's probably better to have mom and dad help with it, okay? But this can be cut out and glued together to make your own dreidel, all right? I'm not gonna do that while you're watching because it would take way too long, all right? So I'm gonna kind of just show you here. I have my own Dreidel game set right here. And inside I have a wooden dreidel, and I have some plastic coins. So you can use pennies. So here's mine. This is my Hanukkah gelt. All right, they're just plastic coins. You could use pennies, any kind of coins. If you buy some of those chocolate coins like they talked about in the book, you can play with those too. Those are pretty easy to find this time of year, probably even at like Target. All right, so when you play this game, you give each person who's playing equal number of coins. So if you're playing with 2 people, we'll go like this. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, whoopsie, now I'm dropping them. 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for me. And we have an extra, so we'll put that in the middle. All right, each person's gonna take a turn spinning the dreidel. All right, and the symbol comes up and you're gonna look on your paper. This one is none. And it means do nothing, so I'm not going to do anything. All right, so the other person who's playing with me, and you can play this with more than 2 people, you can play with lots of people, is going to spin. The next person's going to spin for their turn. Oh, they got the same thing. They got none, do nothing. So I'm going to take my turn. Hopefully we'll get something different this time. Ah, yep, we got, let's see, I'm going to look on my sheet. Hey, take half the pot. Now, there's only 1 coin in there, so I can't take half of it. So I'm just going to take the whole thing. All right, the next person's going to spin. And we got hay again. Take half the pot, but there's nothing in there, so they can't take anything. All right, so you're going to keep playing like that, and every time you get a new symbol, you'll look and see what it means, okay? None is do nothing. See, none. Gimel is take all, so you would take everything that's in the middle. Hay is take half. And shin is put 1 in. All right, but you have all those directions in your packet. So I'm going to put my Hanukkah gelt back in my bag along with my little dreidel. All right, and that is what I have to show you today. I will have some more activities to show you on Friday. I will see some of you today at 10:30 for small group. We're going to be talking about gift giving because lots of holidays in the winter, in December, involve giving gifts. And so we're going to talk about who we can give gifts to, all right, and what gifts we would like to, all right? So I will see those kids, those of you today who have small group, and the rest of you I will see next week for small group, and we'll have circle time again on Friday. Oh, Audrey's photo bombing again. Hi, Audrey. All right, so see you all later. Bye.